the irony, the clampdown, and the misplaced priorities, putting things in proper perspective here on Newsstrip. The renewed Free Nnamdi Kanu protest that took place in Abuja has once again highlighted the growing tension surrounding the continued detention of the IPOB leader. Despite the subsisting court order restricting public demonstrations in certain parts of the capital city, the protesters stormed designated security zones to register their grievances, demanding Kanu's immediate release. The protest, however, was quickly met with a firm response from law enforcement agencies who moved in to disperse the crowd and effect some arrests. Listen to what the police spokesman said about their arrest, whether it was because of their agitation or something else.
This is approved and this is used by police forces around the world. We are not using anything illegal. We are not using anything unlawful. And like I said, this comes after a series of warnings. And mind you, immediately the warning was given that this is going to be done, the people that had health concern and that loved themselves left that place. So this was for the unruly.
So there was a police officer who announced that
this was for this was that standard procedure. We always do that. And this for the unruly and adamant protesters.
Well, give us an understanding of the arrests that were made. Why? You arrested Nnamdi Kanu's brother,
Kanu, yes.
And you arrested his lawyer too.
Barrister Aloy, yes.
Why?
Because they insisted on making way to the restricted areas. And not just 2 of them, 6 others were also arrested around Transcorp for this same reason. So we arrested a total of 8 of them. They are currently at the state CID. And once we conclude our investigation, just like we said in our statement, that anybody who violated that court order would be arrested, diligently investigated, and prosecuted. So once we conclude that, which we should tonight, then they'll be prosecuted immediately. In less than 24 hours, they'll be facing the court.
So now, people are going to be prosecuted because they're exercising their constitutional rights.
No, you're getting it wrong.
The question is that are they aware? Would any citizen be prosecuted for an offense he or she is not aware of? And that's why we're asking, where is the court order? How many you went to court expertly to get the court order, but you never made it available to Nigerians.
They were arrested not for carrying out their lawful duties, but for contravening a valid court order.
A court order that was not made available to the public.
The court order is there, and in our statement on Saturday, we mentioned the court, we mentioned the judge, we mentioned the court order number, we mentioned everything. We were so plain, we made it clear, and we also warned that anybody that contravened that court order would be arrested. We made it clear.
So, is the police...
You may be wondering where the protest was staged. Well, it was in front of Transcorp Hotel, formerly known as Nikon Hilton Hotel. For those who are familiar with Abuja, Transcorp Hotel is not far from Unity Fountain. And that Unity Fountain is just by the Millennium Park, not far from Federal Secretariat. If you are familiar with that terrain. Among those reportedly arrested were Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother, his lawyer, and several others who accompanied the protest. This development has sparked several outrage among sympathizers who see the arrest as an escalating display of intimidation by the state. Yet, beneath the emotional reaction lies a deeper question about strategy, timing, and misplaced judgment, especially on the part of Kanu's legal team. At the close of last season of this Kanu's team, they complained about the short time that the court fixed for them to open and close their defense. Watch the video so that you can hear it from the lawyer. That is the lead counsel anyway.
A surprising ruling today. We were served all of a sudden as a matter of surprise, an ambush with the medical report which the court ordered the Nigerian Medical Association to submit since 26th September. So that medical report that we were served is dated 10th October. And it was today that we were served in open court with it. So, well, you can say that the defense had no ample opportunity to react to it. It was more of an ambush. But nonetheless, the court had ordered further that Nnamdi Kanu be examined by the Nigerian Medical Association. That examination was never carried out, and the order was entered on 26th September and restated on 8th October. That part of the order was disobeyed. They never examined him. So the report is based on some informal meeting. They held Nnamdi Kanu as far back as 18th September at the DSS headquarters in Abuja. They were invited to do that by the DSS. The court and the DSS are not the same. So what we have in court, or what we were served in court today, quite frankly, we cannot be sure where it emanated from. Did it emanate from assumption, or did it emanate from the examination carried out on 18th September before the court entered an order on 26th September. So we were quite surprised from us, and we felt a bit disadvantaged, but the proceedings had to continue apace as the court wanted it. So at the end of the day, the court made a conclusion and a ruling that Nnamdi Kanu must enter his defense from the 24th of October and conclude his defense by the 30th of October. So basically, it's a 6-day trial window that we're looking at there.
Why on earth would the lawyer allow emotional or his emotion to override his strategy? With Kanu scheduled to appear in court in just 2 days' time, the physical participation of his lawyer in a risky street protest raises serious questions about professional discretion. In a high-profile case where preparation, documentation, legal motions, and courtroom psychology are as crucial as public sympathy, one would have expected his lawyer to spend this crucial period strengthening legal arguments rather than engaging in a demonstration that has no tangible legal value to Kanu's case. Where is division of labor in all of this? Where? There are activists like Showore on the street already. Should the lawyer not concentrate on perfecting every process that concerns his own schedule in this struggle? Should they not have done that? Yes. And talking about Showore, I have seen in some platforms where some people are alleged that Showore delivered Kanu's younger brother and his lawyer to the federal government. I would disagree with that assertion. Based on my own observation, Showore may have organized the protest, but as for the venue where they were arrested, those people were there before the arrival of Showore. The video I posted 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago, you can check, you can see, rewatch it. You can watch here in some aspect of it as well.
Just last year,
so we are in Abuja.
Happened on the street. The Nnamdi protest of 1978, June 12 uprising.
Yeah. So we are getting started. We are getting started. They are already throwing tear gas. We have not started, but they can't stop us. They can't stop us. This is Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother. Showore is on his way.
They cannot stop us. They can't stop us.
They can't stop us. Even though they are already throwing tear gas, they cannot stop us.
What is the tear gas about? What are they tear gassing us? We follow different avenues to enter this place.
We are waiting for a leader. He will come. This protest must go on.
Yes, sir.
We're here. I know. It's okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk.
I have come as an Episcopal Lord. I was expecting to see my colleagues. I've not seen anyone yet. I've not seen Pastor Adeboye Enoch. Where is he? I've not seen Pastor Tunde Bakare. Pastor Tunde Bakare, where are you? You came to the street to dislodge Goodluck Jonathan for his good economic policy, social reform. You people knock him out of Asurok. And today, one man, the country is under siege. And you people are busy. You are enjoying your tithe and offering your church. Come out and speak for justice. What did God Almighty say? I do not delight in your tithe and offering. I do not delight in your burnt offering. Justice is what I ask you to declare.
So raise here.
So we just arrived. So we just arrived, and we're here. Tear gas or no tear gas, we're here.
Yeah, we're ready for this.
Yes.
Being a practicing lawyer, I expected Kanu's lawyer to have known better than this. He should. A defense counsel is not just a representative. He is the chief strategist. His absence from chambers at such a critical time undermines the seriousness of the battle being fought inside the courtroom, where the real decision will ultimately be made about his client. A lawyer behind bars or even under investigation is hardly in the best position to argue motions before a judge. Only 48 hours before his case. Not to mention his own sanity or mental stability at this trying moment. That stability being behind bars. On the other hand, the aggressive clampdown by security forces continues to draw criticism. Rather than engage through political dialogue or legal compliance with court rulings that have previously favored Kanu, the state appears fixated on criminalizing every form of agitation surrounding his name. Something should be behind this. Arresting family members and legal representatives only deepens the perception of bias, persecution, and ethnic profiling. And this is where I keep recurring the need to trust the leaders and governors from that region in their own political approach and engagement with the presidency. The common man cannot arrange it. Why not allow that top-level arrangement? What the supporters don't realize is that they have just compounded the problem for whoever is engaging in this matter. Now, if it was not easy to negotiate for the release of one person, which is the Kanu himself, how easy do you think it would be for the release of three important persons who are related to this case? Kanu himself is here, the younger brother is here, and his lawyer. Nigerian security agencies have a constitutional duty to maintain order, but the excessive policing of decent minds inadvertently fuels the very sentiments government claims to be trying to calm. Certainly, there are strategic lapses in the movement, Kanu's movement, or whoever is organizing this. The Abuja protest once again highlights the movement's lack of strategy. Without a centralized leadership structure and with its most important legal voice entangled in street activism rather than courtroom advocacy, the campaign risks losing momentum where it matters most, which is in the halls of justice and policy negotiation. Nnamdi Kanu will not be freed through street protests alone. I have said this several times, especially the ones occurring in restricted zones that make participants easy targets for arrest. It will not come. His freedom will most likely depend on legal leverage, political compromise, and strategic negotiation, not disruptive confrontations that play directly into the hands of security crackdowns. That's the truth. People argue that the federal government is negotiating with terrorists and bandits in other parts of the country. But have they paused to ask themselves how people from such regions are grappling with insecurity? Do you expect the Southeast also to degenerate into that level? Do you know what those people who live in those areas, you know what they pass through? What if the leaders and governors from Southeast are fighting for peace and stability in the entire region? to avoid or prevent the escalation of violence against their people. They wouldn't want what is happening in the north to, cross over to the southeast. Do you really think those people that live in terror-ravaged communities are happy with the situation? Do you think they are comfortable? So if these people cannot cope this at the initial stage, what if it escalates? The Abuja protest underscores both the desperation of the supporters and the rigidity of state response. However, the participation and arrest of Kanu's lawyer on the eve of a major court proceeding represents a strategic miscalculation that could weaken rather than strengthen his cause. At this delicate moment, the movement needs lawyers in the courtroom, negotiators at the dialogue table, and diplomats applying political pressure, not his key legal figures in police custody. That is not what they need at this trying moment. Some people are making case for state pardon, just as Mr. President has granted to some individuals. But how can you pardon someone who is innocent? His lawyers have argued that Kanu has no case to answer. But more so, they should prove that in the court. And if Kanu is guilty, he will be sentenced. Only then can they plead for state pardon. So how can you plead for state pardon at this particular moment? The bitter truth is that Kanu's case or fate will be decided on political engagement, but not on emotions, on the street. Thank you.